Right now at noon, new information on the man accused of hitting a Madison couple with his vehicle. This as he faces additional charges. Plus, for the second time in a week, a high-profile celebrity has taken their life. And the nation's capital is celebrating today after their professional hockey team wins the Stanley Cup.
This is News 3 at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 on this Friday afternoon. We all made it. We'll get to those stories in a bit, but first, let's head over to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Kind of a wet morning, but things have cleared up a little bit.
It has been wet. The rain really fell apart rather quickly once it moved into Madison. It's been fighting a lot of dry air off the lake breeze coming in, and that's really posed a problem. Here's a live look right now at the radar. You see the showers that came on through earlier today. Watch what happens pretty much right in this circled area. As soon as the storms move on in, just as quickly as they get here, they begin to fall apart. That's because winds are coming out of the east, so that's really drying up the atmosphere by the time those showers move on in. Temperatures are in the mid-60s now. We've seen a 4-degree rise in temperature in about the past hour here in Madison. Then there's where it's not raining. Check out Des Moines at 83 degrees right now. Full sunshine down there. Lots of clouds for us. The clouds at least trying to break up just a little bit. How fast those clouds break up is really going to make a difference in how warm our temperatures get into the afternoon. But if you're planning the rest of your day, do expect temperatures to at least make it towards 70 degrees. With cloud cover continuing, we'll have some rain chances overnight before temperatures in the 60s and upper 50s by the time folks are waking up tomorrow.
Depends on the clouds. If they break up, it might get warmer.
It depends on the cloud cover. Cloud cover changes everything sometimes.
Can't control that, can we?
We can't.
All right, Chris, thank you. We'll check back in a few minutes. Topping the news today, the driver accused of killing a Madison man and injuring his wife in a crash on Midvale Boulevard is facing 6 new charges. An amended criminal complaint filed in Dane County Court says 19-year-old Benjamin Cortez's blood test came back and indicated he had THC and a cocaine metabolite in his system at the time of the crash. Officers say Cortez was driving more than 100 miles an hour before the crash on April 27th. Police say Cortez lost control of his car while he was driving recklessly and crashed into Greg and Patty Namitz. Greg died instantly. A family spokesperson says Patty is improving and faces months of rehab before returning home. The Milwaukee Police Department is releasing the images of the officers involved in a deadly crash. Officers say 23-year-old Charles Irvin Jr. died when the police car left a northwest side street and rolled over near an overpass as they chased a reckless driver yesterday. Milwaukee police spokesman said that Irvine's partner, 36-year-old Matthew Schultz, is in stable condition. Authorities have not said which officer was driving. The Milwaukee Fire and Police Commission ordered former Chief Edward Flynn to change the department's pursuit policy last July to allow officers to chase reckless drivers and those tied to drug dealing. Officers say reports that the other driver is in custody. Irvine is the first Milwaukee police officer killed in the line of duty since 1996. A Florida boy could face felony charges after he attempted to calling in bomb threats to several Walmart stores across the country, including the one that evacuated the Lake Delton store. The threat happened on November 30th at the Lake Delton Walmart. Lake Delton detectives worked with a police department in Florida who identified a suspect in the case. Officers say the boy suspect eventually confessed to making the bomb threats. Investigators determined the boy had also called bomb threats into several other Walmart stores across the country. Felony charges are pending in the case. The NBA player who was the subject of a violent arrest by Milwaukee police in January is planning to file a civil lawsuit against the force. The filing was set for today, but it's been postponed until next week. Police body camera footage shows officers tackling and tasing Sterling Brown over an alleged parking violation. Brown was not charged with any crime, which prompted an internal affairs investigation. The Milwaukee police chief apologized for the incident and said an undisclosed number of officers would face disciplinary action. For the second time in a week, a high-profile celebrity has taken their life. Celebrity chef and TV star Anthony Bourdain was found dead in a French hotel room this morning after taking his own life. Bourdain was a longtime host of Parts Unknown on CNN. The network said a friend found the 61-year-old father unresponsive and confirmed his death was a suicide. Bourdain's suicide comes on the heels of Kate Spade's, and one day after new research by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows a spike in suicides across the country since 1999. The biggest increase has been among people in the same age range as both Bourdain and the 55-year-old Spade.
Suicide actually does not discriminate. The truth is that every person, no matter what their status in life, is human at the core of it and will face these kinds of struggles. And sometimes, ironically, it's our own identity and our self-perception that might keep us from seeking help.
Experts say warning signs of suicidal thoughts can be isolation, agitation, anger, substance abuse, and a change in sleep patterns. The federal government has charged a former Senate staffer with leaking information and then lying about it to the FBI. James Wolfe, the former director of security for the Senate Intelligence Committee, is accused of leaking information to the press. Prosecutors say Wolfe denied having contact with reporters during an FBI interview last year, but the New York Times reported the DOJ secretly seized years' worth of phone and email records from New York Times reporter Allie Watkins. The Times says Watkins had a 3-year personal relationship with Wolfe before she began working at the paper in 2017. Watkins denies Wolfe gave her classified information. The DOJ is helping with the investigation. President Trump has arrived in Canada for the G7 summit, where he said he expects to engage in tough talks with 6 U.S. allies. Relations are tense after the president slapped new tariffs on imported steel and aluminum from Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. France and Canada refuse to back down on Mr. Trump, who insists that tariffs will keep the U.S. safer. The president had a message for Mexico and Canada.
If we're unable to make a deal, we'll terminate NAFTA. We'll have a better deal. If we are unable to make a deal, we will be better off.
The president will leave the summit early to head to Singapore for Tuesday's summit with North Korea's dictator. He'll skip meetings about clean energy, ocean protection, and climate change. The city of Washington, D.C. is celebrating a long-awaited championship. For the first time in their history, the NHL's Washington Capitals are Stanley Cup champions. The Capitals did what no major professional D.C. team has done in more than a quarter century: win a championship for the nation's capital. They beat the Las Vegas Knights. Well, there's more to come on News 3 at noon. Up next, we'll find out what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Today's slow cooker recipe has a secret ingredient in it. Any ideas what it is? Come on, it's right in front of you. I don't know about you, but I'm not one of those people who puts their slow cooker away for the summer. As a matter of fact, I tend to use it even more since it keeps my kitchen nice and cool. So today, I thought I'd show you how to make one of my new summertime favorites that's low in carbs and goes together like this. We start by searing a couple pork tenderloins until they're nice and brown on all sides. Then we put them in a slow cooker and top them with some thinly sliced onions, root beer, and a good amount of barbecue sauce. The secret that makes it so flavorful, it's the combo of the root beer with the barbecue sauce. And if we're watching our carbs and calories, we can always use a diet root beer. After they cook for most of the day, we shred the tender as can be pork with a couple of forks until it mixes with the sauce. Then we can eat it on a roll, or for a diabetic-friendly and lower carb option, maybe serve it on some bib lettuce along with some shredded carrots, scallions, and coleslaw. And when you roll it up and take your first bite, get ready for some good eating. So here's what I suggest. Go online and get the recipe for our down-home shredded pork. This way you'll have one of my summertime favorites whenever you need it. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a low and slow way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. Ahead at News 3 at noon, scattered showers throughout the area today. Meteorologist Chris Reese will have your first alert forecast when we come back. Well, big changes at the top of Verizon, and one cola giant goes clear. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
Change at the top of Verizon. The nation's biggest telecom says its head of technology, Hans Vestberg, will become the company's next chief executive officer. Longtime CEO Lowell McAdam will retire on August 1st. Uber is trying to patent technology to tell if passengers are drunk. The ride-sharing service filed an application for an artificial intelligence system to monitor how people use the app in order to identify atypical behavior. The system would involve an algorithm which would weigh factors like typos, time of day, and walking speed. Riders in an unusual state might not be given the option to share a ride. IKEA says no more plastic straws or one-time use plastic by 2020. The Assemble Yourself furniture chain says it will phase out single-use plastic within the next couple of years. It comes as countries around the world introduce regulations around plastic that could be harmful to the environment. Coca-Cola is going clear. In Japan, that is. The coal giant is releasing a completely clear and calorie-free version of its signature drink next week. The manufacturer left out the caramel ingredients that give regular Coke its signature color, making Coca-Cola clear. A lemon version was chosen. There's no word on a U.S. release yet. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thanks, Diane. The Dow Industrial's up 59 points at the noon hour. The NASDAQ is up almost 3. Let's check in with Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee on this Friday. How was the auctioneer contest?
It was super fun. I really enjoyed it. We were down at Potosi Brewing last night. There's 31 contestants that are going to be competing right up until the banquet tomorrow evening down in Dubuque from all across the United States, 2 from Canada, and Bill Curless, who's from Illinois, is the current world champion. He showed me what he does and how he does. It's all about the chant. It's all about clarity and making sure you're paying attention to the audience. It is really an art. I kid you not. It's not about going fast. That's part of it. But boy, they really have to work on it. In fact, Bill said it took him 6 times around before he captured the championship. So they'll announce that on Saturday night. I posted a video with Bill, and he gave a little sample of the world chant up on my Facebook page if you want to take a look. Fabulous Farm Babe on Facebook. All right. So markets today in Chicago, we've actually got the corn market as the strong suit right now. Yesterday, the big news for Wisconsin was that Mexico has announced they're launching tariffs against U.S. cheese, and that is a big deal for Wisconsin. I caught the governor last night down in Potosi, and he said he has been talking to the Trump administration, both the president and Vice President Pence, about these trade tariffs and how they're impacting Wisconsin agriculture. The announcement from Mexico is they're putting a 10% tariff on cheeses from the United States. Immediately, it'll escalate up to 25% on some cheeses by the 5th of July, and that includes cheeses like Gouda, Parmesan, as well as cheddar. So big deal that we're going to keep monitoring as far as the markets are concerned. The reason the corn market is staying firm is because the Argentinian corn crop continues to get small, the world continuing to look for ways to buy around that poor crop. You know, I was just talking about dairy. Dairy farmers, don't forget, today is your last day to sign up for the revised margin protection program. Got to get that done by your local Farm Service Agency office before close of business today. Despite that Mexico announcement, barrel cheese was up 4 3/4 cents today at 156.5. 40-pound block cheese up 3.5 at 163.5. Double A butter unchanged at 239. Looks like everybody may be trying to buy all of their cheese needs, or at least short-term cheese needs, Mark, before all those tariffs really kick in. And speaking of dairy, see you out at the Dane County Dairy Breakfast tomorrow at the Henson Brothers Family Farm between Middleton and Waunakee. Please remember, no on-farm parking. No on-farm parking. Go to HoorayWisconsinDairy.com. They're parking at Spectrum Brands. They're parking at Graber windows. They're parking at a lot of different locations, but you will not be allowed to park on the farm unless you've got a handicap sticker or you've got a motorcycle. We'll introduce you to the family about 9 a.m. tomorrow. So please, this is where I insert my weather-related comments. Please tell the guys in the back room to see if they can't find some dry weather around 9 a.m. tomorrow morning over the Middleton-Waunakee area. I think we may need a little bit of an umbrella, but hopefully it's going to be a beautiful day temperature-wise and we can all enjoy it.
It's a breakfast on the farm. It's not to enjoy.
That's right. I'm with you, babe.
All right. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, Pam. And Chris is here now, 9 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Find some dry weather. Working on that. I've got it. I'll put in my order with Mother Nature.
Okay,
so it'll work out. So far, we've been tracking a lot of showers today, but look how they really just began to fall apart once they got towards Madison. There's a reason for that, and it's known as a lake breeze. But as you zoom things out just a little bit, we still have another round of showers. This is moving into the western tier of the area, so places like Grant County, Crawford County, up into Vernon County, getting in on round 2 right along that Mississippi River Valley today, in addition to the rains that came through earlier this morning. Check this out. Lots of rain over northeastern Iowa today. In fact, they even have a flash flood warning going on out there. But watch what happens as you get towards Madison, between Madison and Milwaukee. It just falls apart. The rain did not make it into town. And let's go ahead and show you this on Weather Track for the past 6 hours. You got this big swath of lots of rain and moisture that came on through here once you got towards Madison. It is gone and out of here. That's because it's fighting the lake breeze. Winds coming in out of the east, right off Lake Michigan, and that has really just eaten up the rain that came in. Even though it's coming off the lake, there's not a lot of moisture with that. It's a much drier wind blowing into town. Speaking of drier, where they did not have rain, temperatures a whole lot warmer. Watertown at 71, Juneau at 72, Waukesha at 70 degrees. Then you get back towards the west where we did have more in the way of some rain today. Temperatures a lot cooler. Lone Rock coming in at 64 right now. We are at 65 here in Madison, the humidity 75%, dew points in the upper 50s, but with the rain out there, you can sense the sense of moisture that is outside. Some breaks trying to form in the cloud cover. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but if we can get some sunshine today, those temperatures will rebound quite a bit into the low and mid 70s there. The overall system that we've had today, notice just how quickly that began to fall apart. Once these systems fall apart, they lay what are known as outflow boundaries, which could give birth to additional systems later on. In fact, Future Track trying to show one of those systems moving in, especially as we get you into the overnight hours and towards Saturday. This is all along a stationary boundary. Then once we get you later into the day on Saturday into Sunday, there's the potential for yet another one to move on in here. Let's zoom in closer to home. Here's the rain showers that come through overnight and into tomorrow. We get you towards 9 o'clock. Things will be cloudy, but it's not showing any rain. It does show some breaks in the cloud cover towards the afternoon. Temperatures into the upper 70s. We'll be hopeful for that. Then it shows another system that comes through late tomorrow night into Sunday. We'll really have to pay attention to this one, especially in the south and west. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center highlighting at least a slight chance for some showers and thunderstorms from that one. This afternoon, temperatures will spike towards 70. If we get some sunshine, 74 will be realized. Without the sunshine, it's going to be harder to reach 74. Overnight tonight, mostly cloudy with at least a chance for some showers and thunderstorms there. We get you over into the next 7 days, and that's when temperatures will at least try to rebound a little bit into the lower 80s. The thing is, we have rain chances to go along with that, and that's what's going to make things at least a little bit difficult for us. Monday night into Tuesday, the next bigger rain chance there. Of course, the rain chance Saturday night into Sunday, we'll watch. We may have to up those rain chances there. Then we get you towards days 8, 9, and 10. Additional rain chances with temperatures in the lower 80s.
No washouts.
No washouts that I've seen as of yet.
Okay. All right, Chris, thank you.
No problem.
We'll be right back. Well, a bride-to-be in Texas is being forced to reevaluate her wedding day plans. The wedding all set to take place at her home, but days before her wedding, piles of dead fish washed ashore, creating an unbearable stench. The last time the woman saw a fish kill of this size was back in 2014. Texas Park and Wildlife officials say heat, lack of rain, and algae blooms could be to blame. The bride is still unsure what she'll do about her big day. That is so unfortunate. What are you going to do?
Absolutely gross there.
It really is. Yeah, it's terrible.
And I'm from Texas. Usually I love going to the beach, but I don't know about that.
I think stay away from that. Not really beach weather today here either.
Not really. We've got some clouds and showers around. Temperatures also very much on the cool side. We're still in the 60s. With enough sunshine, we'll make it to about 74, but that's going to be a struggle. A lot of those clouds out there are going to keep us to right around 70 degrees today. Overnight tonight, we could see some rain chances as well, and then some clearing by the morning. It's all about the timing and how fast we can get some cloud cover out of there.
So no washout this weekend?
No immediate washouts, but we'll have some periods of heavy rain and then a lot of dry time, too.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a good afternoon.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.